Welcome back, everyone. This is our third episode of the Unplugged podcast, and today is a very important podcast because we discuss some very relevant issues. At the moment, there are current Black Lives Matter protests going on. We will discuss this, but also leave a link in the description. This link will allow you to donate as much as you like towards this cause, and all three of us will donate too, and we encourage you to do so. Anyway, let's get into the podcast, and thank you for listening.
All right, welcome back. Third episode on. A few things to talk about then, I suppose. James is pissing himself laughing there.
So, no. Does someone want to call? You were saying something about you being kicked out of, or you being told to socially distance, which we do, of course, condone.
No. We were like going around town, and then this woman was like, "Are you all in the same household?" And then she was like giving out to us. And then Philip, of course, went, "Yeah, me and Sean are," and then didn't say anything about me. Like, so
I said me and Sean. Said me and Sean are brothers, and
I'm just
the mum was like,
a homeless guy.
Fair enough. And then you were just there, like just abandoned 2 meters away from us.
Yeah, like Jesus.
Did she actually make you like property distance?
Well,
it was 2 meters away, but he kind of did. It was 2 meters away, but it felt like a lifetime. You know, from McCurdy, he was just over there on his own, just all depressed in the corner. Me and Sean, lifelong brothers.
She sounds like a proper Karen.
Oh, she was. She's gone around the whole place.
Oh yeah, she was going around with a fucking, those posters, the 2 meter ones.
Yeah.
She was going around with in her hand, like she's about 40 of them. Like, she was dishing them out, like she was dishing them out like the Jehovah Witness.
She didn't even have a mask on.
No, like if it was Simon Harris telling me to social distance, I'd be like, yeah, it's Simon. But
yeah, sure. I'd give it a go, like.
It's just some random woman who didn't even look like she worked there, like.
No,
he has to be the most boring man ever.
Oh, he is. Oh, Jesus.
Jeez.
I love him. He's so cuddly and cute, like.
It's a weird way to describe Simon Harris.
He looks like the lad who still lives with his mother and he's 44.
He looks like a certain German teacher in our school.
That is our...
Oh,
that is the Minister of Health, everyone.
But, no, he's done well. He's done well in fairness.
He's done well. I mean, he's a good minister, but his nose irritates me.
Okay. Second surge of coronavirus, yes or no?
No. Sure,
what do you mean second surge?
We've been out for long enough anyway, and like not socially distanced, so I think we're grand.
Well, I think
like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. You'll only find out mid-June, probably around that time, if the.
You start seeing it, like.
Yeah, maybe.
I wouldn't see it now. Apparently, there was only one case in Kilkenny yesterday.
Apparently, there's 0 in Wexford. Like, no cases for past, like, 2 weeks. Or something like that.
Yeah, not surprised. But I think
they're all selling strawberries or something.
There's claims that it's, like, seasonal as well. That there could be spikes in winter, but I doubt it.
No, that is true.
If it is so, imagine.
It hasn't been proved, but it's looking more and more like.
Yeah, imagine getting the flu and having the coronavirus at the same time.
But like realistically, if that happens, then our summer holidays is going to be lockdown season.
Yeah.
Until they get a vaccine, and we're going to have them
and
2 weeks in.
Vaccines could take up to 3 years. We couldn't. Well, we'll definitely. I think
that's
it is
a
like
very accelerated process, though. It usually takes 8 years to get a vaccine.
Oh, I know that, yeah, but they have to accelerate it. I mean, like...
yeah, but do we really
this
want
virus? I mean, have you ever seen a virus that cause this much speculation?
But do we really want a vaccine that has only been gone through, skipped multiple trials?
Oh, yeah, 100%. Imagine every single year, Carl, you don't get a summer holidays, you get 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I think we don't need a vaccine at all. I think we
do need a vaccine.
I think people will eventually,
Like, economically, we cannot stay inside. And that's why we're accelerating the stages.
Do you think we'll be back in school in August?
No, it's because all the other opposition parties are pushing the government to actually, like, get socially out more and economically more. Because businesses are failing and people are having mental health issues. So the opposition are like, yeah, get us out. Because they're not in power. But so they need to do it.
Schools will be back in September.
You don't think so?
No.
Not fully, no. In no way will they be back fully.
But that's a mass gathering, though. Like,
Yeah,
that is a mass gathering, but
because like in the corridors, and it's impossible to go through those corridors without like touching someone, like
especially in our school.
Yeah, like you'd be
especially in any school. Like I mean, even the private schools that are gigantic, like even if they try to manage 1 year, it's going to be really difficult to do it. Yeah. When you think about it, so like even thinking about it from our school, which is like a small rural, it's designed for probably 500, 600 people maximum. To try and even cope with 1 year, I think I worked out something like 34 of the 36 rooms would have to be used to be socially distanced to fill up like our year alone. So that means
you'd need 36 teachers as well.
Yeah,
you would need 36 teachers
for each subject.
And it would be quite difficult to.
It's just easier to do online classes, even though it's impractical and doesn't work. But like,
I think I find it like it's very reliant on how like
It depends on the subject though. It is very reliant.
But no,
if it's a science subject and you can't do experiments, that's very hard to learn because you need those experiments to like get the understanding. Whereas if it's like English,
yeah, but you can just eliminate
those understanding like. From like our English teacher, just going on rants.
But you can eliminate. You can eliminate some factors of it.
We need it, but I don't think it's feasible. Like,
well, I mean, they could it took a while to get rid of Leaving Cert, but they managed to reduce it to predictive grades.
Yeah, but that's easy. That's an easy option. Like,
so Philip, do you think we're gonna?
It's the smart option. I wouldn't consider it the easy option.
Yeah.
Philip, do you think we're gonna have a Leaving Cert? Yes or no? Or do you think we'll have like a different form?
I think we won't have predictive grades. I think we might have continuous assessment in some form.
Is that not the same thing? Essentially.
No, predictive grades is like we don't do any exams.
We don't do any exams. It's where we have a scheduled set amount of tests that we continuously assess. It's like the new junior cert, but
I think they'll have to cut out loads of the courses then.
Well, you see, I was thinking of maybe if they had well, you can do that. You have to.
People have covered different parts in different schools, so
but what you can do is change the model of how you're going to assess them to accommodate where you can only do parts of it depending on the areas.
So they'll give you 10 questions on the 10 chapters or whatever, and you only have to do 5.
Yeah, they give you 10 questions. You have to answer 5, and for each question you have 2 options.
Yeah.
I was thinking there might be. Another feasible way might be if they had, let's say, a section of like specific topics that you had to cover over a small period of time, and then you got assessed on each of those at the end of it. Maybe if you had 5 or 6 of those during the year, and they collected those grades together as a overall Leaving Cert.
Yeah, maybe.
But all the tests that we did, they're online. We all cheated in them.
Well, obviously, that is part of it.
Yeah, I know, it's shocking, to believe, but yeah, we all cheated.
I wouldn't do such a thing.
How could they be so naive?
I mean, it's literally just handing you a fucking pot of gold on your feet,
I don't think they can,
Sure, I was texting people, during the exam.
Yeah. It was so laid back. I would forget.
Me, Paddy, and Harry were on a FaceTime for one of our exams.
Yeah, I was on a call with
I'm gonna say which one
for a German exam.
Exactly, and
but the teachers would have to be stupid not to know that that's happening.
Oh, they will, but that's a segment of what the online is going to be. They have to accept that is now part of the actual assessment.
Cheating.
I mean, even
how well
even
can
college.
You cheat?
Yeah, but I mean,
but your
can
parents,
they change it?
Any parents that not letting your child cheat for their Leaving Cert when they can get away with having the book open in front of them.
Yeah, my parents are very anti-cheat and strict. But for this, they'd be alright, grand.
A bit stupid as well. I mean, literally, you're at a disadvantage if you don't cheat.
Yeah,
but
because everyone else.
For our summer exams, realistically, they could count for our Leaving Cert.
Yeah, that's what the lawyer was saying.
Any child that is any parent that has gone to a child you cannot have your books open in front of you for these tests like this.
Yeah.
Like, that's stupid.
I know. I mean, it's like
you're measured against the other students, like, and if the other students have an advantage, like, it's unfair. You're graded unfairly.
Like, it is, yeah, it is exactly, and yeah, I don't know. It's like I understand the responsibility of the parent saying, okay, we want our child to do the exams in a fair, responsible way.
You can't expect every parent to think that. So then it just won't work. Like.
Oh no, I know what that means. But I think it's just they surely know the conditions where if they don't cheat, they're at a slight disadvantage.
Yeah.
So they like. I mean, I think it's just smart to let them do that. But I mean, like, not all of it. Use it as an aid. Don't use it as the whole thing. I mean,
yeah, I think they need to have more questions where you can't cheat. Like, it needs to be like
English was very anti-cheat.
No, English you can't cheat in. Like, you can't.
Like, you can reference the book, like, for characters.
Yeah, I mean, really. Quotes. Learning quotes will be completely eliminated, but that'll be about it.
But sure, in this day and age, do we need to learn all this, like, rote memory? Like, I think the education system needs to change.
But the education system is going to change because of this, like, regardless of if the SEC or the NCCA don't accept that.
But an online learning system does not suit rote learning, whereas it does suit a skills-based learning thing. And that's
exactly, and
because you have all the answers in your phone, but how do you collect all those answers to actually do something in the world is what we need.
Exactly. Well, see, collaborative.
This will be the catalyst for the change in education that's needed for the new age of.
Do you think the junior certs will have exams?
No, that's gone.
Junior cert's gone.
My brother won't have exams.
Junior cert,
I think he's been.
It's so easy just to say, no, they're grand, like.
Yeah, it is.
But like, realistically, like, who wants to do a junior cert? It's so pointless.
Yeah,
it is.
And to risk lives doing it, like, you like.
Yeah, no. I mean,
Philip, you spent way too much time studying for your your junior cert.
I know, yeah, and I suppose, but see, that was a frame of mind where I was just I wouldn't think of the actual importance of it. It was physically just I wanted everything prepared, and I wanted everything prepared perfectly. So I think regardless of the situation or the conditions that were behind it, I would have done that preparation. Because I just like to be perfectly prepared.
I think that's what the good thing about the junior cert was, that it was a preparation for the leaving cert. It brought out any of those characteristics that came in some people. So for you, you had that kind of you had to be prepared for everything, but you learned how to deal with that for the leaving cert, where there wasn't as much stress for junior cert.
So I mean that's what
they're taking at the leaving cert. That would have.
They're taking that away from the junior cert anyway. So what's the point of having that? That's the only good thing about the junior cert, but they're going to get rid of that. Like eventually,
there is a benefit. It isn't pointless. Like, there is some benefit.
But when it's when its importance is so closely attached to the main leaving cert itself, it just feels like, they might. This is a chance and opportunity for them to gain some examination preparation skills. But if they eliminate it, it's
but let's forget about pandemic altogether. Like, imagine you yourself with all this like preparation stuff, try to go into the leaving cert where there's loads of stress on top of you, as well as all this like new stuff. It would, mental health wise, and just being.
Well, of course, that's why like there was increase in student stress, because it's just anyone in a condition where they're in fear of uncertainty. Uncertainty will cause natural stress.
So and especially kind of gets rid of that uncertainty, like.
Well, it gets rid of it partially, but there's
a fraction of it, but the fraction helps a tiny bit. Like, I'm not
it
saying
does,
leaving
but
cert
I
isn't
think
stressful. I'm just saying, like, it helps.
Do you know what was so stupid?
Yeah.
The fucking fifth year. Did you see that fifth year does matter too thing on Instagram?
No,
account.
I don't want to. See
but that was all after the 6th year thing. That wasn't saying that like 6 years
so
are fucking
bad.
Fucking
that is so
years,
stupid. Like,
no, have you seen the 4th years one? The 4th years had a thing as well. They're like 4 years are forgotten. Like,
it was so. There's one technical.
We didn't get to go to Germany. Fuck off.
Senior infants matter as well.
Yeah, I mean, 4 years. Like, come on. I mean, what are they missing? Like, fucking Gashka. maybe an owl work experience. Some of them won't even turn up for.
Sure, the end of the year you do fuck all anyway, so like you're grand.
The end of the year is just like you're like,
walk around
okay,
school,
how can I walk around the school and not collect as much jobs as I can? You were just dodging jobs like fucking.
TY was so good. TY was so good.
I'd go back to TY.
Yeah. See, I think that's always going to happen when you have such a good high moment in school and then you're in such a stressful part. You're always going to look back at that moment. But I think it's good. Like, I think everyone developed emotionally and like matured most certainly over that year, just in all aspects. So
you get to try new things as well, like find out new
exactly,
shit.
Yeah. Like I felt really out of my comfort zone in parts of TY, especially. Do you know that we did that self-defense joke?
Yeah.
He was like. We were just sitting at the corner, and he was on about like drugs and guys shooting heroin up his knee.
I saw a guy injecting heroin in his dick.
He's such a cool man, though.
I was just sitting there. I was sitting there, just staring at him. I had a fear of moving my hand in case he saw it and thought it was. I don't know. I was just. It was the whole thing was me.
I know if you knew like before that, it's like grand. As soon as it goes,
he's got a very dry.
When you introduce your TY project as, oh yeah, I lived there, and there was a guy that shoot heroin up his cock. You're like, all right, grand, yeah, sound. I was just a bit uneasy there. Like maybe ease me into maybe start with a bit of hash or something. Don't go straight to the heroin. That's what I'm saying.
It's because all his veins had collapsed. Like it wasn't just he said, you know what? This morning I'm gonna shove heroin in my dick. Like it was like. There was reasoning behind it, like it wasn't. It
wasn't like a euphoric moment where you realised that. Wait a minute, can I get two satisfactions at the same time?
I don't know if that would. Yeah, I don't know the science behind it.
It wouldn't work. It'd just be painful.
How do you know?
I don't know, but I'm just presuming it would.
Did you just say what you said? The pain threshold. Wow.
The pain threshold of what?
Of his penis.
The pain threshold of having a needle or any anaesthetic or anything.
I don't think you care.
Soft, fragile part.
Would you feel it though?
Like when you run out of veins, you have to go down there. Like you do not care.
Yeah.
Oh no, you won't because you're. I mean, and also like there's they go broke so quickly because these guys that sell it like they'll up the price.
Yeah, because you can't. You're gonna pay for it.
You have to. It's those chemical reactions.
The most dangerous thing though is in Dublin. Like they give like a young lad, let's say like a bag of hash, and then they say, oh yeah, this is free. You can pay me back the next time. But then they don't tell them the price, and then they say, oh, it's 100 quid for the lads. Yeah. Do you owe me 100 quid?
Yeah.
All right, you have to have it the next day, but this time it's 150 quid, and it just builds up. That's how young lads are like being killed across in like Dublin.
But I was watching a documentary on RT. Why, you know your man who does How to Kill Your Mammy, like that lad.
I have never heard of that show on RT.
What the fuck?
How to Kill Your Mammy? What
yeah,
RT
anyway,
are you
no,
watching?
It's on Sky. But he did a documentary on gambling, and it's actually one of the worst addictions. Like.
Gambling is surprising.
Because you think you can gamble your way out, like, whereas with heroin, you can't heroin yourself out of a heroin addiction, like. Whereas gambling, you think you can, like, so.
I suppose you can die, and then I suppose you have when you're dead.
Well, yeah, but if you.
I don't think there's anything wrong with most drugs, though. Like most drugs.
No, I think.
Like they're not for me, but like I
think.
Well,
psychedelics. I think there's a big area of research for psychedelics. But they were all shut down in the 1980s by...
Yeah, so...
What was his name? I think it was Roosevelt's husband or something like that. She was like very anti-drug, and she shut down all the research projects into psychedelics. And seemingly they're like, they won't kill you. And there was like loads of studies.
I mean, like, a lot of these originate, like, are come from like trees and from natural substance.
I think you just need to have like everyone needs. It's the same with like drink. You need to know your own boundaries. Like
exactly.
I think it's controlled in a medical study.
If you have,
I think like it'd be grand.
If you have a family history with drug problems, you shouldn't do drugs. If you have a family history with like alcoholism, you shouldn't drink.
But here's the problem with that. If you have a family history on your doors, you're going to be brought into a family of that, and you're going to be surrounded by it.
I know.
Yeah.
But even if it's distant family, like if it's your cousin or it's your uncle or it's your auntie, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I understand.
Like even like it's.
Oh yeah,
like,
but I think our age is a lot more
like,
responsible with drink and stuff like that now. Like we're.
But I think
more, like,
that's where America fall down. Hold on, my camera is gonna die in a second.
Because Philip, you don't drink at all, like. And
I don't drink at all.
You haven't been pressured either, like. There's no like pressure.
I haven't been pressured, but there is a natural slight social pressure in that regard.
But no one has said, "Go on, will you drink it?" Like you were always told as a child, like that you're going to get peer pressured into doing something. But
exactly.
Never been peer pressured into drinking or like anything else.
I just think Philip's very headstrong though. He wouldn't.
Yeah, but have you ever been approached by someone and they're trying to give you drugs, like?
Yeah, every so often.
No one has ever done that to me, like. They've never said like peer pressure.
I just think I do.
So
I don't really put myself in that situation.
Or like drink, like you know what I mean, like.
No, but like these situations, you're not putting yourself in. Sometimes they just happen. If you're on a night out or something, it can just happen.
Do you think 18 is a good drinking age?
I think 16 should be a drinking age.
I think you take away the taboo, the younger it is.
Plus, we're drinking anyway, so it might as well be controlled and like monitored.
I think it can be. I think it can be.
It's like the psychedelics, like it's
I
good
think it
when
should
it's
be
controlled, but like when it's out of control, it's deadly. Like.
Psychedelics.
I think it should be 17. I think 17 is ideal.
Why 17?
Because if you go into a nightclub, like
well, you wouldn't be going to nightclubs, but I'm just saying, like.
Drinking. No, but like even a pub or something. Like when people get drunk, like you don't want people that are like.
Underage,
underage, like
exactly.
But there should be like separate things, like balls or whatever.
No,
like
but in Germany, you're not allowed. You're obviously allowed to drink when you're 16, but you can't go into a nightclub until you're 18.
Yeah.
Or they have like times. You're not allowed in.
That's a smart way to do it. Then you learn how to drink. You learn how to drink in conditions that are controlled by you.
Yeah, because
so you're drinking.
The Germans drink a lot healthier than us. We like binge drink and like destroy the fuck out of our liver, whereas they drink like one every day, and it actually has health benefits rather than defects.
I doubt it.
No, the French as well with their wine, like one glass a day, like. But if you just binge, like, drink, that's the deadly shit.
Because like, I wouldn't drink like every day, but I'd like when I go out, alright.
Yeah, that's the culture in Ireland, like.
Yeah,
and that's why we have like high liver cancer, all that failure and stuff like that, because we just actually go at it, like, and then we don't. Go at it at all.
I think the drinking age is way too high in America.
21. It is. I think 16 is responsible because.
But they don't even underage drink. That's the weirdest part.
They do.
No, they don't.
I think it depends.
I know loads of like lads my age or like even younger, and they don't drink like at all.
Yeah.
And even when they're 19,
college,
like,
they do.
Like,
I think it's like easier.
Yeah, but it's like one beer. If you were not like what we do, like.
If you were trying to get served when you're 16 and prove you're an 18-year-old, it'd be harder. But if you were 19 and trying to prove you're 21, it'd be easier.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would.
But still, like.
Yeah.
We're like drinking at like 15 and like 16. And past 18, it's getting younger every year, like.
Past 18 years of age, it's hard to decipher between age 18 and 21 if they are 18 or 21, like. Yeah. So I suppose that bracket there, I don't know. I just feel like it's a waste. I think 18 is too. I think 16. If you can control the drinking at 16, where they can drink in a conditions that are like okay for them. So let's say you're drinking at home, right?
Plus you know your limits as well, and you're like doing it like safely rather than just. And when you're 18, you drink like a shit ton of stuff uncontrolled. And then
you're drinking that anyway at 16. In Ireland, you're drinking that at 16 anyway because. You don't have that feeling of okay, I'm comfortable here and I know for certain I can drink here legally at home, and you can find your limits at an age where like at the age of 18 you're going into a nightclub and you're not unknown of what your limits are because often people before they go to college reach their drinking limit, like they'll collapse one day or they'll pass out. But if you can get that at that young age and you can if you can get them to drink responsibly.
That's why the frat parties are so dangerous in America.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Because people just get fueled up. Like, they have no experience, they have no tolerance built up or anything. Like,
exactly. You have to build up tolerance for this. Like, even if you start at 16, or like, it's fine. It has to be done. You can't just go like learn how to swim by jumping into the middle of a sea. Like, you know.
Oh yeah, but a lot of people do.
But Philip,
like,
you've never had like a drop of alcohol. Like, if you were to have like a pint, you would feel it. Like,
if you were to smell.
Oh yeah, I believe it would, but I don't have the desire for it. I suppose it is hard. Like I suppose it's all in your mind how hard it is for you to curb like how much you wanted to drink or how much you felt into the peer pressure. Because I just have a mindset where I know for a fact I won't drink. I will not be if I be peer pressured. I will not drink at all. Yeah. And I think it's just like around town and around in like on nights out. Let's say like yeah, of course there is that thing in the back of your head. You're thinking, okay, maybe should I tonight just try to drink something? But I always keep myself stable. Like ever so often, sometimes you need a bit of help with someone else to make sure that you don't make the mistake. Like, well, not mistake, but the choice. I suppose.
Ever be tempted?
Yeah, of course. Like I see, but I watch. See, I'm looking at the outside where I'm seeing psychological changes in people as they drink. They start to get the personality change, and it's just really weird feeling. It's a really weird for me to see that. When I suppose like you wouldn't see that as much because you'd be, let's say, drinking on those.
I know. I found that with myself, like, but I don't know if that's like maturity, like just goes 50 or it is because like I started drinking like more regular, like.
Exactly.
But you weren't that young when you were like 17, weren't you?
No.
Oh, I thought you were.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, you weren't.
I had it ages ago.
Yeah.
But like it wasn't that much, like. But still, like, nah.
I think I was 15.
Yeah, it's probably 15. When was
that's the average. 15 or 14 is the average.
When was the first ball?
I doubt 14 is. 13 and 14 is way too young to be drinking.
People were drinking for rugbies, I remember. Like,
yeah,
my brother was telling me that, like, the people were drinking at rugbies. He wasn't doing it, obviously, but...
Yeah, well, it's a small minority, but there still is people, and that would get bigger and bigger.
I have a serious problem with, like, people drinking at 13 and 14. Yeah. Like, they're never... because they're going to be so... Their brain's going to associate drink and nights out and having fun in those social gatherings so much that they're not going to be able to feel like they're able to socially interact properly unless they have drink with them. So it's that close association is just fucked up. Like,
yeah,
I think it's funny when you look at like different countries and how different countries react to drink. Like the British and the Americans absolutely like just go violent.
Yeah.
It's so funny. And like
we just kind of
we don't really go violent like Irish people.
We just go retarded. Like we're just.
I think it's like the atmosphere around you when you start drinking is probably what influences how you like behave when you're drunk. Like, do you know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
You don't act a maggot like because everyone's like shut the fuck up like.
And I'm obviously not saying like in all cases that's like the same, but like.
But like, I think there's also cultures like if a girl can't stand, it's kind of a turn off. Like
100%.
Because like
it is.
I see like a lot of girls do drink that much like that they can barely stand like. And then
I never understood why you'd go to that limit. Like, I mean, what actual benefit do you get?
Well, I think that is people finding their limit, obviously. But if you do that nightly,
I suppose like
there's this girl that I'm not gonna name, obviously, but her friend, they were at like this person's 18th, and her friend gave her like a glass of like I don't know what it was. It was like, let's just for the example say it was Coke, and like she thought it was vodka in it, and within 20 minutes she was pretending to be drunk. There wasn't any alcohol in it.
Oh my god! Yeah, that's a placebo effect at its finest.
Yeah,
but I don't think it is. I think it's just like people want to act drunk because there's no way you get drunk after like a shot of vodka.
Well, if she thought there was drinking it, right?
Yeah, she thought there was, but there wasn't.
Oh, so that's placebo. Like she in her head she's thinking. Well, if she did,
there's a slight placebo effect.
There is. There has to be
very slight though.
And also atmosphere
in that case particularly there is.
Affect it.
If she didn't know that there was drink in it and then she acted that way, that was placebo effect. If she knew that there was no drink in it and she acted that way, then she was just acting trying like blend in, I suppose, with whatever's going on at the time.
Yeah.
That's just like.
But it's a mixture of both, I think. Like.
Yeah.
It's both nature and nurture.
I always find the placebo effect it's like I always find it unbelievably interesting how your brain can like almost simulate the feeling of whatever it's like pretending to have in your body.
Yeah.
It's just like how powerful that brain is, and I know we can only access such a limited amount, but the brain is like such a fascinating organ. Well, see,
imagine you could use like your whole brain. That would be fucking mental.
You can. That's bullshit that you only use 10% of your brain.
You can only use 10%.
You don't use it all.
You do use it all.
You don't use it all.
No, that is a lie.
But you don't use it all to the same like ability.
Yeah.
No, like not.
You
all
don't use all. You don't access all your brain.
And if you did use it all at the same time, that's called a fucking seizure. Like, no, I'm seriously. Like if you have like 100% brain activity,
you can't use all of your brain. You can't access all your brain.
You can't control all of it.
Trust me.
No, you can't control all of it, but like you are using all of it.
You are using all of it.
Yeah, no, that's.
I thought you meant like you like aren't using it all. Like.
Oh yeah. Well, then what would be the point of having it then? Like that part of the brain.
No, you can't control like certain
all of them.
Inner parts of your brain because like they're just controlling unconscious movements, like breathing and
of course
your symbiotic system. Or is it parasympathetic? Yeah, symbiotic. Nervous
system. Yeah, like your brain is
your digestion, your breathing, your hormones, and all that. Like
your breathing as well. Yeah. See, I find when I'm with asthma.
But then you can change it to parasympathetic, by like saying like, oh yeah, think about breathing. So now you're gonna breathe manually now, like, and that fucks with your head.
When you were saying that, Carl, I started.
Yeah, exactly.
Controlling my breathing.
That switches from the symbiotic nervous system to the parasympathetic.
But you can't you can't control your digestion.
But also, if you
there's no way you can change that to parasympathetic, your digestion system.
Philip, you probably noticed, like, if you learn off a piano piece, right, and then you're just playing it along, but if I told you, can you walk me through it, you'll probably play that a lot slower. And a lot of medical mishaps or whatever in surgery happen because they're teaching. Because they're doing something that they've done for years and years and learning muscle memory, but then when they're told to teach it goes to a different system, and then they don't do it as well or quickly, and
I always find it interesting because I think that's like how some teachers, student teachers, have their downfall because they'll say, okay, I understand my topics, I understand the concepts that I have knowledge in that I want to distribute, but how do I get the information from my head to the students' end? I suppose that's probably the most difficult process of teaching. You know, it's always interesting to see because there's no way to teach that really. Well, there is. Like you can practice, but like you have to be like
it's a skill.
Get the experience. It is a skill, and all skill is practice. Like
I think where student teachers really fall down is when they don't try and they try to think they're above the students.
The students, exactly.
They have to put themselves on the same level.
Unless it's
not exactly on the same level.
No, unless it's like first years, you're fine. You can get away with it, but like when you're talking to people that are basically anything above TY, you need to talk to like an adult,
like on the same.
Exactly, and
a little bit above, but like still like mutual.
Yeah, you need to have a limit, obviously, but like
yeah.
Yeah, like I always find it interesting to see how they do like student teachers will learn. They do evolve into how well they can execute, I suppose, their teaching methods. But it's even like in music, when you're like learning, you have a skill. Obviously, music is a skill, but it's all practice. I find sometimes I don't. If I played a musical piece enough on the saxophone, let's say, it's not no more. Is it like looking at the notes and then transferring those notes to my head? It's literal muscle memory, and I would just connect the first note, and the muscle memory would bring me along possibly 20 seconds.
Well, if I told you to think about the movements, like I tell you to think about manually breathing, you do it a lot shitter and you mess up all over the place.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but I think when something's so much,
it switches like the area of the brain that does it.
Yeah, well, yeah. You're saying essentially, if I play the piece, but I play it in how my hands are moving.
If you're like constantly, if you're like thinking about like doing it, like you're supposed to go.
Like if you were thinking of of how your hands are moving, of course. But like that's why I think music is a really a really good skill to have because it works so many sections of your brains. Like even scales. Let's say if you're playing,
it works like spatial reasoning, logical, numerical.
Exactly. It is, and that's why some people find it difficult to play music, because they can struggle with how much of their energy and brain requires. Like you'd be surprised at like how much effort, and not even effort, but how much like energy your brain has to put in just to be able to play this.
I
like
find
you're
meditative. Like if you get it, like it's kind of like meditation.
It is.
When you're because you're like fully in it, it's just you and the musical instrument or whatever.
It is music, and
everything
like,
else just shuts out. Like
exactly, but I find sometimes literally my brain gets fatigued from playing, and it's a weird feeling. Like your body is completely open, but your brain is just not functioning properly. Like I think the best way when your brain is tired. Sorry, go on.
No, I was gonna say we shouldn't get too stuck in music, because like people were saying that was like we went a bit too much into the detail.
We're talking about like science and
I know, but like people were saying that we went into too much detail and they just
let's moving on. Philip has a daddy fetish. It was pointed out today.
No, that's not going on it. No.
Is that not going on it?
No, I will fucking leave the room if that happens. No.
Okay.
No, cool. He doesn't actually have a daddy fetish.
No.
We need to.
All that must be cut, and I have to hear it.
We can do it further tonight.
Cut out that part, right?
That's just one massive bleep. Yeah, okay. No more talking about it, because it's effort to cut all this shit.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, well, moving on from on that topic of music though, I know. I'm not, all I'm saying is, right. Well, I know we're telling
you. We went into too much detail.
No, but I'm bringing along.
I know. We're not keeping it shit.
But see, people don't want to just. People just don't want to, like. Let's say if you're listening to a song, you just want to go, "Oh yeah, that's class. That's unreal. They're bopping for 5 minutes."
It makes me happy. Okay.
Or like, "Oh yeah, the beat sounds very nice." Like that, it's like you have to elevate what you're talking about. People don't want to.
Yeah, but some people just listen to it casually, like.
I know it's listen casually, but like people like to feel like they're learning.
I know.
They're getting something from it. But
on another, moving on slightly.
I'll just go for 2 seconds. You can continue on your side.
Okay, we're gonna stop for a second because I need to.
I'll keep moving on from like the music. There was a couple of artists actually re-releasing some of their songs in response to the current movements that are going on in America.
Well, across the globe.
I don't know. But predominantly in America. I think like some of the Kanye West and Kendrick Lamar and all those are re-releasing songs as I don't know, as a statement, or like as a statement towards like the songs with the most powerful messages behind what is going on currently. Anyway, but I think we should. It's important to talk about this, but it's also
we want to come at it respectfully, and we will link every single petition and donation link we can find in the description of the video. If you're on Spotify, we'll link it in an Instagram post or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we'll do that. And if we say something that's wrong, we're always wanting to learn and whatever. Just tell us.
And
we all want to be educated and stuff, don't we?
Yeah, we do. Yeah.
So,
exactly.
I think being educated is a lot better than posting a black tile.
Yeah, 100%.
Yes,
it's a lot better to be educated and what you can do, rather than just posting a black tile and leaving it.
I think the good thing about the tile was it did spread awareness.
But everyone knows it's a problem.
Awareness was already spread there.
How they can help.
The only problem I have.
The news. Sorry.
No, yeah, that's true. Social media is the central platform to how this is going to be like. Or I suppose, this is how we found out about the situation and where it started. Well, because
Twitter will teach you more about it than the news will.
Well, I think you get your sources more raw in the news, because some of the social media can be tainted in a way, where like not in this case, but like the news will take that information and suppose present it in like a raw
but the
way.
news are so like mainstream media are so in favor of like, especially if you look on like, not really in Ireland but in America, like ones
there's
like
Fox News and there's CNN.
What's Fox?
Yeah,
Fox like are so pro Trump because all their viewers are in like places
Democratic.
like Alabama and Indiana.
I actually listen to what every once in a while just to see like what it is.
But like news in America
upload.
is naturally going to be Democratic or Republican.
No,
yeah, it's a grey area. Like I've talked to like Americans who like are pro Trump, but they're not like racist or homophobic or anything like that.
Yeah,
I think Trump is a disgrace.
Because I think he's a disgrace. It's absolutely Egypt, but also he's good for space. So that's what.
Go on, Colin or Philip.
What Trump is, what his problem is, he doesn't think of what he's saying. He says exactly what's on his mind, and he's gone through his life, going through businesses and running and whatever he's been doing, where he just said whatever on the spur of his mind and he's got away with it. But being in a presidential role, it's going to be more publicized. It's going to be taken with more like heat, I suppose, because that's all he does. He doesn't process what's going through his brain. He just spurts out exactly what's going through. It's like a white noise machine. Just everything just goes through it. Like,
the thing about Trump though is everything about him, like everything he says has to be right. Like he believes everything he says. And he makes sure, and like people in America that like support him will believe every single thing he says.
Yeah, I suppose. Well, I mean, some of it has to be an absolute idiot.
But not everything. Like we can't just say
everything.
It's not a cult. Like it's not a cult.
Like they are smart people as well that follow him. But
I think America's fall down is like its education system. That's why this problem is still here. Like, especially in, like, I think it's in a multicultural society like America, you can't not teach people about, like, how African Americans came to America. Like, they don't learn that. Yeah. They don't learn about slave trade.
Well, I know, but...
They just learn about, like, this history of Indiana, like.
It's mad, like.
That's all they learn about. Yeah. That's all, in geography, all they learn about is, like, their state.
Yeah.
Like then I suppose they become state sort of. They become so centered on their own state. They can often. I think that's also why could have arisen there. Possibly in that state there was just a high level of just blatant racism. But it was in that state where they've been educated. Possibly that was like not accepted, but it was seen. It wasn't taken with a massive reaction where, like, obviously it is now because that film has changed, like, a segment of how we'll see certain things in the world, like,
but the thing is, that wasn't the only film. There's been multiple cases like this before.
No, I don't think it's not even about, like, George Floyd. It's about every single African American that has been mistreated by the law since African Americans came to America, like. Yeah. And, like, you have to remember, like, white people don't have a right to say, like, African Americans don't belong in this country because they brought them to the country.
They're immigrants as well. Like, all the white people in America are immigrants.
That's true. Yeah, they are. Yeah.
Like,
some of them quite predominant are Irish.
Like,
Irish descent. Well, a lot of them claim. A lot of them claim anyway. But I suppose
the problem I have with Irish Americans is, like, most of them are racist.
Yeah.
And, like they have no right to be racist.
Very different.
It used to be. Yeah, it used to be like what was it? No blacks, no dogs, no Irish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I know bigotry and racism are not the same thing, but like we should be able to like know where they're coming from and boost them up. Like.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think
no Irish person should not be supporting this, in my opinion.
Well, I think everyone should be looking at this and just it's probably like it's going to be a very predominant part of history. Like it's going to be, this is a big movement. Like this is bigger than what we've seen before because I think like even though people are like these unfortunate events happen quite frequently in many states and many areas. The fact that you get to see this guy die, the fact you get to see his life taken away in front of you, Like, even though it's
but
not taking
multiple other videos where people have died in front of you. Like,
it's not taking from any away from any of the other cases.
Phil, if you go on Twitter and you look up the hashtag BLM, you will find countless videos of
it's not just George Floyd.
That's not what I'm implying. What I'm implying is you got to see the whole process of him dying.
Yeah, there's other videos where they actually die.
No, leave him go. He's right. But
this is where it was publicized to a point where the global action was like bound to happen, but it had to happen really.
Sadly, it's because of quarantine. Because we're all locked down. Like, we actually get to sit around and have a conversation about this. That we usually wouldn't have gotten, but we needed to have it, like.
But the platform is there anyway. The social media platform is there, so news spreads extremely fast. But and the good thing is we're not seeing people like trying to abuse this time and this publicity or whatever to like make false claims or whatever. It's being like completely civil.
I think a lot of brands are hopping on this and they're kind of trying to.
And influencers. I saw a video earlier of some model influencer type, them.
Yeah. It's
and
ridiculous.
She was posing like was fucking Coachella, like.
Yeah.
Like, did you? She's had like one of them dresses on that you'd only see at Coachella. She had her like sign up. She had like it was so stupid. Like.
Yeah, people are using it for their own financial gain, which is wrong.
Well, I think even people that have knowledge of it, or politicians that say or whatever, or people that have like high status or like a lot of views that can, if they post, will create a massive importance. Like I know we have lots of people that like us, let's say, or whatever, posting about it, message about it. Like, I think it's important that we do it, but it's like vital that these guys use their social media platforms as best they can, responsibly, not like the Coachella one there, to spread the message. And the message will be spread extremely fast, as you can see. It was extremely fast how this started. But then there was also they also had like lockdown times for the country. Like when it get dark, you had to go inside.
Curfews,
for some of these.
But like I think a lot of the news is highlighting a lot of the violent riots and stuff like this. But there's a lot of
the news.
protests, like.
The thing about the news is they are like only showing the looting and like
the animalistic behavior, like. But there's also loads of peaceful protests that are right.
There's loads.
There is, and most of the peaceful protests only turn violent when they're tear gassed.
Yeah,
like people are being tear gassed for no reason.
Yeah, I think the police are very scared right now because everyone hates them.
And they're in a fragile state. Like
they've got a target on their back. Like,
yeah, I feel awful for
like if you're a cop
especially
right now, like
police of color. Yeah, like any policeman that is of color, policeman or woman, is like you have to be so like, and like I don't like the whole like fuck the police thing because like they have to feed their families as well.
Yeah, but, like these guys like obviously.
But I don't think that it should be like, there's just a couple of bad apples. Like, they shouldn't have got in the first place. Like,
no, you can't have bad apples in that job.
There's certain jobs that you can't have like
where they have they don't just have a gun. They have like where they can like potentially murder someone out of like of what they think in their head might be like where I'm just protecting my state or whatever. But it's blatant racism.
Yeah.
Like and also. There needs to be more better vetting, I think.
Yeah, no, the thing is, policing isn't like a prestigious job in any country, really.
No.
Especially in America. Like, America, police don't get paid well. Like, most of them have to work 2 jobs.
Yeah.
And, like, apparently your man, George Floyd, was working in a nightclub with your man, Derek Chauvin, before.
Was he?
Like, that's mental.
That's mental.
Yeah, apparently. That's what my father said, but he could be waffling.
Yeah.
But... That's
like he wasn't resisting arrest. They are not trained at all. I saw a video.
No, they're not. You have to be more trained to be a barber in America than you do to be a police officer. You have to do more hours of training.
I saw a video of a police officer and he was saying that they are not trained to put your knee on someone's neck like that.
Yeah, obviously.
Like that's not
training. Like even Joe Rogan was saying, even in jiu-jitsu, if someone did that on their neck, like what the fuck are you doing? Like that is bad. That's awful.
But I think it's ridiculous how long it took for the other 3 officers to be arrested. Like, it was only like a week or 2 after. Like,
yeah, exactly. And his case got changed to second-degree murder, wasn't it?
Yeah.
What's the difference between? I don't know the difference.
Like, third degree is basically manslaughter in Minnesota, and second degree is like it wasn't planned. Like he didn't wake up in the morning and plan to do it.
Premeditated,
Like he knew what he was doing. Like.
Oh yeah.
And then first degree is you planned it, and then
yeah.
Excuse me. But
and like I mean,
there's people trying to get it up to first degree, so he gets a life. But that's so stupid because he'll get off scot-free. Yeah. Because they won't be able to prove he planned it. Like.
Yeah.
Like he didn't wake up in the morning and go, "Oh, I'm going to kill George Floyd today."
Yeah.
Like they won't be able to prove that, and he'll just get off scot-free. And the worrying thing is in America, like. They could literally just like let him off and just go, okay, we're going to change your identity. You're going to move to, I don't know, any other country in the world.
I don't think he can. Like,
I don't think he can
anymore
because his face is everywhere. But like that's the worrying thing that actually could happen in America. Like America is the most backwards country in the whole Western world.
So that happened in a lot of places. Like, it's kind of like the whole priest thing, where there's like a couple of bad priests. And they were doing shit, you know. But, like, the other priests weren't doing anything, but they got hate as well. So, all the bad priests got relocated and continued doing bad crimes, which is also happening with cops, like. So
100%. But you can't have bad apples in that job. It needs to be a prestigious career, and they need to have it the same way in every other Western country. Well, most in Ireland and Britain, they'd have it anyway.
Yeah.
But, like, they need to get rid of guns completely in that country, and I know that's not going to happen because it's.
I don't think
Australia and New Zealand got rid of guns after their mass shootings. Like, they just got rid.
That's what the UK did.
Yeah, they had a mass shooting. They're like, you know what? Let's get rid of the guns. Like, it's like.
But like in America, it says in the Constitution that was written hundreds of years ago. You have the right to bear arms. You should not be able to have guns in, especially like.
This is back when there's fucking bears outside your door. Like.
No, I understand having like. Hunting rifles, which I don't really agree with.
But they should be licensed.
Anyway.
Well, I think licensed hunting rifles. You can get licensed hunting rifles in Ireland, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. You should be allowed to do that, but
of course.
You shouldn't it's not going to happen. But you shouldn't. No one in America should have guns, like automatic guns, and you shouldn't be able to have hunting rifles in urban areas.
No, you can't because
police
there's people
shouldn't be armed.
Yeah.
Police definitely shouldn't be armed, and you should have an armed response unit for terrorism and other like violent crimes.
Which they do. They have a SWAT team, like.
Yeah, they have a SWAT team, but they like all the police have guns.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what they got. Some of our guard units, including the detectives.
It's not also guns. Like they also use like tasers and pepper spray, like overly. Like.
Yeah, no. It's
ridiculous. But like I mean.
But they think the thing is, like, they only use that because they think they'll get away with it.
Yeah.
They think they'll get away with it if.
But that's the great thing about like body cams, like that they're being recorded
most
on
of
the
them
job.
Don't wear body cams. They get away with like covering up their name and body cams.
Yeah.
Because they're all wearing helmets at the minute, so that you can't see their face. Yeah. So if they cover up their name, you can't identify them.
Yeah.
And like there's police officers
Anonymous are doing a lot of shit to try and uncover a lot more cops.
Yeah.
Like.
But the police in America, like, there's loads of videos of them like throwing up like what's that white light, the KKK thing, the sign. I'm not going to do it.
That's awful.
And like saying like, your man Derek Chauvin was wearing a hat on social media, and it says "Make America White Again."
Yeah, like.
That's ridiculous.
If they're blatantly racist, they should be fired. Like.
Yeah, but these guys aren't vetted. All they have to be is vetted. I think there's a lot of guys or a lot of police armed, like in Ireland, right? Our detectives are armed.
Yeah, but the detectives don't respond to people speeding and then throw out a gun, like.
Yeah.
Oh, I know.
You know
yeah,
what I mean?
I think, but like obviously we need to have units that are armed. That's natural, but I think, but it's like in such a country that has such guns are such a part of their culture, like. It's gonna be. It's
not gonna happen.
Yeah, but it's only part of their culture because they still have them. But if they got rid of them, like, they'd be grand.
Constitution.
No, but see, that's never gonna happen. That's never gonna pass
through
the
thing
Constitution.
with the referendum about abortion. Like, you should, like, if you have the right to do that, everyone should be allowed to. It's their choice. Like, it's the woman's choice and whatever. But like, the Constitution, the Irish Constitution didn't let you do that because it was written by like 100 years ago.
Yeah, like Ireland is progressive law. Like, we were a very Catholic, backwards country, but now, like, we're very progressive.
We're moving forward.
See, it's like how hard is it going to get rid of all those guns, considering the population?
It's not going to happen. It's not going
500 million, and the amount of guns, and also the part it plays in the economy.
Yeah, it's not going to happen. 100% not going to happen.
I mean, if you've got such a large demand for guns and ammunition, like, to get rid of, just to wipe out that demand, just ultimately, wipe out the supply. Like, the demand's going to be crazy. That's going to cause people to actually go out and riot. That could, by that, it could cause people to go out and cause hassle and cause riots, and with the guns that they're supposed to not have.
Yeah.
And also the black market will go through the roof. It would be.
But there's always going to be a market for them.
Like, you can get a gun in Ireland if you really wanted to. You could.
Yeah, but it's a hard process. Like,
it is.
A 16-year-old cannot go and get a gun easily to go do a school shooting, whereas in America they can. Like,
yeah, but even that,
they just open up their father's closet and there's a fucking.
Whereas in Ireland, you'd have to go through multiple procedures and stuff like that. And
like, there was this video on Twitter of this little blonde kid, like, he was about 8, and his name was Maverick, so you know he's destined to be a school shooter, and white kid, and like all the comments were like, "Oh, it's so cute," and he was like shooting a proper sniper rifle. Yeah. But if that kid was Arab, if he was black, if he was Asian, all them Karens and them comments would be like losing their mind.
Yeah, like,
it's ridiculous. Like,
it's just like, that just shows
everyone in America is so poorly educated.
That just shows how, like, white supremacy has this concept of white supremacy is just it's fucked up in a country where it is classified as a first world country, like, but it just seems ridiculous how.
But like, it's like a dictatorship over there. Like, it's like fucking Korea.
Yeah, apparently a lot of the CIA lads are saying, like, this is looking to be like a Syria, like, where all these riots are leading to shit like that. Like,
it is possible. It's very possible.
And all these, like, overall.
Like, Trump sympathizes with Putin and he sympathizes with Kim Jong-un, who are two biggest dictators. Sorry, my camera's died, but you can just use audio.
Yeah.
He sympathizes with Putin and Kim Jong-un, who are the two of the biggest dictators in, like, Europe and Asia.
Yeah.
Like, excluding Africa, because, like, that's mental. And I think he only sympathizes with Putin because Putin probably has dirt on him. But anyway,
well, there's also the nukes trade as well.
The what trade? Sorry.
Well, the concept of nukes, like, the nukes will play a factor in that. Like,
I don't think they will.
I don't know. I just feel like Donald Trump has no fucking clue what he would do with nukes.
I think he's actually secretly a genius, but he's just kind of hiding it.
For one day, for the last day of his presidency,
or someone else is pulling the strings behind him and just using him as a proxy.
I have bad news. My camera looks like it could toy at any minute, but I'll just keep going and we can use my audio.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, of course.
Because this is good conversation and all that. So,
well, it's important conversation. Like,
it needs to happen. Like, I see all these things about like all these, like, lads on Twitter. Like, everyone that is spreading awareness of it is mostly female. Yeah. Like, lads are just too afraid to, like, step out of their, like, zone, and they're like,
sure, even we didn't do it last episode because we're like, should we?
Because of the I think it's just a fear of you of how you're approaching.
I think racism. Like, I'm not saying like you weren't keen on doing that last episode, but like, I'm not saying you are racist, but racism shouldn't be a, like, sensitive topic unless you are racist. Yeah. In my opinion.
Like, but, like,
you can say wrong.
It's not that we're racist. It's just that we don't want to take
say the wrong thing. I know
take anything away from the message. Do you get me?
Yeah, I think. I think a lot of people will also look for you to say something wrong as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, of course, that's how like social media comes. People are trying to look for stuff they can foster and alternate the message or whatever. But that's just the nature of social media. Like, regardless of how important or fragile the message is, there's going to be people that are going to use it against whatever the message is. It's messed up, but it is reality. Like,
my only thing is, you have you can never assume anyone's financial situation. So like, no one should be forced to donate, but you have no excuse not to sign petitions.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yes. Signing petition is. That petition. I think I'll check the figures on it now quickly.
It doesn't take that long. Like, it takes.
I've signed as many
you could literally make a Twitter account in 2 minutes, and no one needs to see your. Sorry.
Yeah.
No one needs to see your signing the petitions if like you're worried about seeming like you're a bit insecure and you don't want to seem uncool. But like, just make it fake.
It's not even uncool. Like, I think
it's not. It's important.
It's not. It's just like, people like, like there's some lads in our school that will go, oh.
No, they won't.
Oh,
I don't think there is. Like,
I don't. Yeah, me too.
Maybe not in our school, but there is lads that think that. I don't think there is, but I think people think that there would be. Do you know what I mean?
I don't know. I wouldn't think that.
I would. I don't think for this scenario it would be the case. I don't know.
I don't know. There's
just culturally in Ireland, like not being racist is like an obvious thing. Like,
but it's not enough to not be racist. You need to be anti-racist. In my opinion.
You need to speak out against it.
Like, just because you don't say the N-word or whatever, like, doesn't mean you're not racist.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't mean you're off the hook.
Because you can be biased without knowing it. That's why we need to talk and get an understanding from other perspectives. Like,
I don't want to. Sorry, I know we shouldn't talk about this now, but I don't want to title this about America.
No, we can title it about drinking and shit like that.
No, we will. We don't, because it's just a message.
We don't want to be seen like we're making like I know we're not making money off it, but
we're
off this.
Yeah, we're trying to get clicks off it. We're not trying to do that. Like, we just
want to talk about it because it's important. It's a current issue.
The petition is currently at 16.1 million.
But do you know how many people put the black screen up?
It was 22 or something.
22 million.
Yeah.
That's how many people put that black screen up, and like, so how much
they felt like, that's grand, I'm done now. Like go home.
You're not. You need to sign the petitions.
Yeah.
I mean, I think social media, it's just it just shows how important the platform is, where you can get your voice out and it can be heard. And that video was when I saw it, it was just devastating to see. And the one thing that annoyed me was where he had his hands in his pockets, as if it was just
acting so cool, but he was.
Yeah, no. If you watch the video before, there's CCTV footage, and he's calm totally the whole time.
But the thing is, George, I don't know, we don't know if George Floyd actually did forge money, and even if he did, he didn't deserve to die.
They actually checked it after, and he was found innocent.
Yeah, but I know, okay, but I'm not saying that that's true or it's not true. Because, I don't know.
Plus, it's a white-collar crime. It's not even a violent crime. He wasn't found with gun running or anything.
Yeah, no, I know.
It's a fucking check forgery. That's a white-collar crime. It's not violent.
But, even if,
resisting. The thing is, he wasn't resisting.
No, that's what I mean. But, they should use that
he was being,
a white-collar crime,
I don't
know.
An
accountant is going to attack me, very serious.
The thing is, police in America I don't know if they are, but they shouldn't be allowed to put people in handcuffs unless they're resisting, which he wasn't. If they're detaining them, they're literally meant to say you sit on the sidewalk as they call it there.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Let us search the vehicle, and then we'll let you go. We might write you a ticket or whatever.
And I think there was this TikTok going around where there was these multiple serial killers killing mass amounts of people, and they were sent to. They're only lightly handcuffed. Where this guy had his blood the blood going into his whatever that he couldn't breathe on his. This guy was the force he had to exert for that to happen, and it was just the hands in his pockets was the part that.
It was murder. It was not police brutality. That was murder.
That was murder. You could it was 100% murder. That's gone beyond. I think that's why impact. That's gone. It's brief brutality. Brief brutality is never acceptable. But this was just absolute iceberg.
Yeah,
it was straight out murder, and
I think he would have got away with it as well. I think he would have got. That's
why he had his hands in his pocket.
That's the problem.
Those human gestures never lie. When he had hands in his pocket, shows that he was in his mindset. He was like, "I'm going to get away with this. I know I'm going to get away with this," and it was just because that just shows how.
I think every single police officer needs to remember now that he is being filmed.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And I don't think he should be racist, but that's people aren't going to change. Sorry, people aren't going to change. Do you know what I mean?
People aren't going to change. Exactly.
History
repeats itself so frequently. History repeats itself.
I think it's unfortunate, but it is the reality. People racism is going to disappear racism isn't. You're not born racist. You're taught it.
Yeah.
And the more you see it, as these racists die off, I think racism is going to die off with them. Because it's going to be taught in schools. The American education system is about to be changed, I'd say.
But yes, this is
it's going to have to be changed. You cannot
It's not all based on the education system though, as well.
Yeah,
it's also based
on education.
It's based. You can't blame it on the education. You can't. It's based on this. There's areas in America that are more racist than others because it's just.
It's always been that way.
It's been that way, which is the bad thing. It's such a tragic thing to even. The fact that it's just any state at all is recognized more for being more racist than the other. There should just be no racism in any. I know it's impossible to eliminate it completely because people.
It's not impossible.
Well,
unfortunately, it is. You're not going to get rid of it.
Maybe not in the next 10 years.
Not in our lifetime. In our lifetime, I don't think we'll complete.
No way.
No.
I think with human interaction anyway, with human interaction anyway, I think it would be almost impossible.
But just because that's the case doesn't mean we can't try and stop it.
Yeah.
We can't stop it, but we can certainly reduce it. It'll be these things that are often reduced with impact, and the impact is this video, these protests, and these actions will spring people back into well, not spring back, but make them understand and reduce how racist they're being, or they'll reflect on their own mindset and see what am I doing,
racist or biased or whatever.
Exactly. And see, sometimes the fear may be the only way to reduce the impact of it.
Yeah.
In 100 years' time, though, I think we're all going to be so diverse. Every country is going to be so diverse.
That has to be
you think about how many people are moving from country to country for whatever the reason.
Exactly.
And most of the time, the right reason is mental.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I think it's mental. My auntie.
But even with climate change, there's going to be a mass movement of people, because they're going to be moved out of their homes.
Of course, and they're going to be moving uphill. And the problem with moving uphill is
there's no room uphill.
Oh yeah, and that will cause
war.
War. It will literally land war.
I don't think it's going to happen in our lifetime, thankfully.
Well, it could. It
could. Yeah.
Let's get through 2020 anyway, and we'll
Yeah, 2020 has been just an absolutely awful year.
Anyway, I think we better finish this up anyway.
All right.
Yeah. Well, any final thoughts anyway on that, guys?
Next, are we okay? We need to decide it out because last week we aimed for Tuesday and we didn't get it up. Are we going to say every single Wednesday or every single Tuesday?
Every single Tuesday, we can do this. I'll have my thumbnail done by tonight, and I won't have any. Wait, I'll finish my recording, will I?
No. We need to finish it off. We're just talking.
And send it to me. Send me the recording because last time you did.
I will.
Everyone send it to Colin straight away.
Thank you. Because that
in a different
got me last time.
Yeah. So every Tuesday we send. Every Tuesday expect a podcast.
Every Tuesday.
Be disappointed if you don't get it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Cry yourself.
And if you made it this far, comment. Philip is
Daddy.
Fill up his daddy. Come and fill up his daddy if you made it to the store.
Yeah. Oh God.
Alright.
So, see you next.
Anyway,
right. See you next Tuesday.
See you guys.
Well, we'll see everyone next Tuesday. Thanks everyone for listening, and have a good day.
This is the end of the podcast today. I want to thank everyone for listening. If you made it this far, please like and subscribe. And please, if possible, could you donate to the link below. Thank you everyone, and we will see you next Tuesday.